There's something that I wanted to share. It's like a 10-minute track, and it's new and it's very special to me. And I think I might have to just send it, and then we'll fit in what we can fit in after. Does that sound all right? Yeah. Of course it does. You don't know what I'm skipping anyway. Some of you know, some of you don't. I went to Nevada last year, I think it was last year in April, to see a spiritual teacher. And the next track, I've made a bit of a track featuring a conversation. I had a one-to-one meeting with him. I was out there for 3 weeks. A lot of my life has been defined by this, trying to figure out what's going on with me, because I haven't found it very easy to like function in this world, which comes into all the creativity and all of that. But going to this place was one of the most profound experiences of my life, and I found what I had been living with my whole life. I found it in the community out there, and just this last week it just came and I just did it, and I've made this sort of track featuring this conversation, this recording that I had with him. So this is very personal, it's very special. The only person I've shared it with, the audio of the conversation, was my mum, because she's mentioned in it. If we get time, we'll get to that song. It's about her experience with psychosis and everything. So anyway, I won't waste any more time. I'll just got to set up the sound.
Okay, so important step you just took by coming here.
Yeah.
You look completely different.
Yeah, I feel it.
It's like your whole system reorganized. It's very good. But I think the real work, and the work that's right there for you, is what you've shared multiple times about your heart. Because that's the treasure course. When the heart opens, then the oneness comes in a way that makes real what it is you're becoming as a person. And your despair and your dissatisfaction with your life is evidence that your soul is longing for something truer. Who were you most connected with?
Her mum. She was hospitalized when I was young with psychosis.
And she may be very interested in what's happening to you. Probably the awakening happened at that time, and then it got diagnosed the way they diagnosed
I feel, yeah. The story was that she had periods of, she was the Dalai Lama, and she was the next president. I can't remember exactly.
No, that's clear evidence that the exaltation was coming. Yeah, she was discovering the truth of our nature is that we are the greatness. But it comes to us in a way that's disproportionate to where we are in our current condition. So you have glimpses of your grandeur, of that which you've become. They're valid, but what the ego, especially a wounded ego or a traumatized ego, does with it, it gets distorted. In terms of appropriate social behavior, is often misunderstood because you have an enthusiasm. A conviction that's not normal because it comes from a true place, but because many Westerners are not oriented to what true spiritual awakening looks like, they end up in hospitals or on medications. And I mean, I can tell you how many people come to me from that condition where it was all awakening. all life traumas are due to a spiritual fire waking up and creating a disturbance that takes the person out of their normal consciousness. You don't need drugs to do this. Life will do it because it's part of life, actually. It always has been. It's only in the West that we've created science and separated ourselves from the foundational spiritual purpose of life. That used to bring a great deal of despair for me to see how many young people were just being devastated because they don't have a context to understand what spiritual awakening is like. It doesn't fit any box, not at least in the scientific Western orientation. We're also institutionalized by our culture, by our education, by our schooling, by our emphasis on the mind, that these truths about what life is really are strange or bizarre or distorted by what we've heard or what religion has done with it or what people have taken with their wicked and run with it. You need to have more time in the world. Too many people retreat or seek spiritual communities but avoid actually coming to the development of their personal self in a way that's effective. Because life will teach you much more than what you can learn in an ashram or in the spiritual energy. Because spiritual energy is by its very nature taking you out of the world by the quality of the consciousness you become. But the individual person has to go through the structure of lessons that they were here to work out by being a person in the world. So for me, my path is to recognize your life is your sadhana. Life is sadhana. The more effective we're able to be in life, the more effective we are able to be in spirit. So Jamie, I will be with you. I will enter into the heart, and you'll know it more as your heart awakens. It's a cry of the innocence and the pure truth that you are to have found someone like me. The choices you make when you go back are going to be important. They should be practical. And you should be looking at ways by which you can diversify away from breathwork in a satisfying way, in a meaningful way. The real healing is when you empower someone to heal themselves. But first you have to be that one. Many people cannot stay with this because it starts going to places beyond what we would consider normal spiritual happiness or fulfillment. Because it's what's coming is to make you a channel, an instrument for something that's the inner meaning and collective consciousness, and happiness is not big enough. Peace is not big enough. So in this way it's learning how to be uncomfortable. But there is something true and grand in that battlefield that speaks to your soul, and it speaks to your own sense of your purpose in life, nourishing that part of you that's already aligned, so it becomes more and more willing to go beyond what it's been able to go through up to now. So the nobility is when we sacrifice ourselves to become something for something greater that can come into existence through us and eventually as us. When we're willing to sacrifice ourselves for that to happen, we're willing to give up what we thought our lives might have been. When you get that sense of the lineage of what it is that you are as an individual being, then everything that arises becomes much more purposeful. And it doesn't become become a problem because the destination is already determined and the life where you chose to give yourself to God, the truth, which is you already did. So, in this life, choosing to live aligned with God and truth, whatever form that may take, is how you'll feel right. That'll be your dharma. And then you'll know this is what I should be doing. What's really useful is to feel the current. What's really useful is to know the grace, to feel it in your body. That's really where the heavens and the earth come together, in our bodies. And it happens for us in an open space, or it happened to others. This is how we then open space for evolution to happen in this domain. This is the only domain where evolution actually goes anywhere. So why do you think there's only one little planet in this vast, vast universe? Why we keep sending out beacons and no one's answering? Because we're it. There's no other place to go. Having a body, being self-aware, and able to live a life is the greatest grace any being of any time can have. There's never been a time like this on the planet where there was this much knowledge available, this much energy, this much consciousness, this much acceleration, evolutionary development as now. Human beings are gods, actually, relative to the rest of this dimension. But we have not woken up to our responsibilities. And that is what's needed. Because we have a debt to that creation that gave us bodies. We have a debt to the mother that created this world. To support her need to evolve, to mature and to grow, into a more and more perfect reflection of the truth. Life is hard. Death is easy. Here there's suffering. Here there's loss. Here there's pain. There's exquisite joy. Only here is there freedom, because there's bondage. So, being a human being, owning it fully, maybe when you just catch that wave perfectly, you know that was it. That moment was it. That's all we can expect from this dimension, because it's always true. So the quality of our capacity to be in existence is what's developing in you. And when that comes, a natural cry